Welcome to the MLB Whiparound podcast. Along with Eric Karros, the D-Train, Dontrell Willis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. On this episode, we discuss the expectations for Shohei Ohtani after his red-hot start with the Angels. How about the struggles with the Indians offense, who, by the way, won again? And if the Mets are deep enough to stay in contention all season long. This Mets team, 8-1 is pretty good, EK. You come off a sweep of the Nationals. Will they never sweep there? You buying the Mets right now? They have staying power?
Yeah, I think they're staying power. If there's any team that is susceptible to health, which everybody is, I think they're the most susceptible to it. Obviously, the pitching staff, you've got a lot of injury history there. And then, the age of their everyday guys. You have some guys that are over 30 years old. So, like I said, every team deals with that. But those guys can stay healthy with that pitching staff. This can be the quickest turnaround as far as what they had last year to this year. And that's why the hiring of Callaway as manager, brilliant, because that is a pitching coach, and that's what this team is going to be based on.
For me, Cespedes has to stay healthy majority of the year. Every year he seems to have an injury, misses a ton of games. Him in that lineup, it makes that lineup look like a postseason type team, and it takes the power pressure off everybody else, and everyone else can pick their spots like Jay Bruce and company, and they can do what they can. But they keep him in the lineup. Me as a starting pitcher, that's the guy that I'm circling. He cannot beat me, and I have to pitch around him. But once he goes down, you see the offense go down, and it puts more pressure on the pitching staff, and it makes them have to pitch perfect, and they start to make mistakes. So it's a domino effect, but he's the main guy in that lineup that needs to stay healthy.
To your point, sorry, he missed 73 games last year. You got to have him.
Yeah.
Well, there's no right-handed power. He goes out, you're cooked. You could say Frazier, but, at least from the left-handed side, you've got Bruce, you've got Conforto, you've got Gonzalez, you've got some threat. But if
they might face a D-Train, though. They might flip to the left side and shut
well, that's the
thing.
If you lose Cespedes, it's no bueno.
Yeah.
Hey, how about the way, you talked about Callaway, the pitching coach, how about the way he's handling these guys? Syndergaard, look, he could throw 150 pitches and be fine. 90 pitches. Could have probably gone farther. He's like, come on out, son. We'll take what you did. You like that?
I do, and that's why I say that hiring, for the Mets where they were last year, if they could stay healthy with their pitching staff, they could turn it around in 1 year. And that's why, bringing Callaway from the Indians over, he knows pitchers, and he's going to err on the side of the pitchers, the health of the pitchers. Sometimes you get guys in there that they aren't former pitching coaches or they're everyday guys, and they're like, why can't the guy warm up? Let's just get him loose. Or what's wrong? Just throw. Back when I play. He's very cognizant of that health down there.
Two pitchers in MLB history have ever thrown a shutout with 10 Ks and also stole a base. Scherzer tonight, Nolan Ryan in 19.
Stole a base?
Stole a base in 84. So he's been thinking about this for years.
He's competitive, man. He's a bulldog.
For years.
For years.
I love
Three different managers.
He put some Bengay on that shoulder and those legs because he wanted it really bad. But, he's an athlete. He's a bulldog. You see the personality on the mound. He wants it. And, again, he understood the situation. Most managers, 95% of managers, wouldn't want their ace pitcher running like that, especially to avoid a slide. But, again, it's nice to see that. And, again, that's infectious in the dugout. Guys see that, position guys see that, they see that energy, it fires them up. So I understand what he's trying to do, but he's one of the most competitive guys I've ever played with.
Can you quantify the definition of an ace? Because you said it, the competition, the competitor, right? This guy, after they lost 5 in a row, they just got swept by their division rival, and he's like, no way is it going to 6.
I think with him, you're not talking about just pure stuff. His attitude, his presence out on the mound, that beats other teams sometimes when he doesn't even have his.
And that's real.
It is real. So I'll tell you, I talked to a guy this spring, one of the best players in baseball. And I asked him, I said, who's the toughest pitcher you have to face? And he says, well, Scherzer. And I said, yeah, great stuff. And he goes, you know what it is? It's not the stuff. He's got me beat before I even go in the box because of the way he carries himself out on the mound and the way he controls everything. And I said, really? But that's the way other superstar players look at him, and it's real. You see him; he's talking to himself. He's talking.
He's still fired up even after the game in the interview.
It's crazy.
He's intense, but he wants to win. And I'm telling you, I love the passion, and that's one thing I've always respected about him. When he goes out there, he expects to win. Most of us hope to win, and that's the difference.
Listen, when he worked with us a few years back in that one season in the playoffs, he was all done. Hey, great job. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going shark diving. I'm sorry, what?
Shark.
Like, I'm going to get dinner down at the promenade. He's going shark diving. It's a little different human being. Max Scherzer getting it done tonight. The big story in Anaheim continues to be Shohei Ohtani. The Angels rookie, all he did was homer in 3 straight. He took a perfect game into the 7th inning against the A's. He finished with 12 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed. Flat out cheddar cheese at 98 and 100 to a splitter to go with it. First of all, this is unbelievable for the game. It's so much fun. And this is obviously a ridiculous pace. But what is real, D-Train? I mean, what can we really expect from the first two-way player, really, since Babe Ruth?
I can't speak on at the plate, but on the mound, it's all of 97 to 100 miles an hour with the fastball. His split finger is 90 to 92 miles an hour. That's harder than my fastball. And with the depth change, it's equivalent to Severino's slider. I mean, it's up and down, and he will almost tell someone that it's coming, and they won't be able to hit it unless it's in the middle of the strike zone. All I'm worried about is his health and his elbow, especially throwing that split finger at max effort, and he's excited. He's over here. He's doing his thing. Let's see if he's able to go a full season, because obviously our Major League season is longer than the season over in Japan. So I just want to make sure that, you know, they're able to rest him and handle him the right way, because that's a lot on their body to be playing every single day and get on the mound like that and strike 12 people out every day. I mean, every start.
No, and you're right. And remember, you know, he had some injury history last year in Japan. And then there was also talk that he had the similar issue with his elbow as Tanaka with the Yankees. You know, it's not a complete tear. And
that split finger.
I just, you know, again, I marvel at, as a fan, I'm watching this and I'm going, this is sweet. And I'm rooting for the guy, and I want to see balls going on the lava rock, all that sort of stuff. I want to see the 100 miles an hour.
Right.
I don't know how he's going to do it, though. I don't see the hitting. I know how hard it is
over
to
the
hit.
long year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You're hot for a week. I get that. But I just don't know that when teams start game planning, because I think what happened, he struggled so much in spring training.
I agree.
That teams are just like, okay, you know, we'll
overlook them.
Yeah, we're just we'll give them a little lip service, but we're not going to spend a meeting going over. Like Dontrell's not going to be looking at him going, all right, I'm going to break him down with some fastballs in. I'm going to knock him off with that slide. Now, he's not getting that just fastball, and hey, he's going to get pitched to, and it'll be adjustments.
Especially on the mound, he's only faced Oakland twice, and Oakland's a young, free-swinging team. They couldn't see the split finger. 2 day games, too, so it's hard to see the spin. So I know his stuff plays, but let's see when he gets to the upper echelon of these offenses, when you see the Boston Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Houston Astros. He could tip the scale. He could tip the scale.
Here's my point. All of what you guys are saying is certainly valid over the long. This is what he's trying to do is unprecedented.
I love
obviously.
it.
But think about this. The Angels have had the best player in the sport now for the last few years.
Right.
Okay, and they are what they are. No one's staying up late to watch these games on the East Coast. No one's, not an overabundance. People are going, you know what happened yesterday? They had the first sellout they've had on a day game in 20 years.
It was rocking.
And it was loud.
Yeah.
So bottom line is it great for baseball? It's amazing for the sport, right?
Well, you know what else? What that says is Mike Trout needs to pitch.
I think you're on to something.
He got a cannon, too, on that mound.
All right, Mike, the challenge is up. He's got to take the mound. All right, we'll see. I mean, he does everything else, EK. Well, I'm sure he can do it.
You're right.
I would not be shocked.
You're a fool.
Indians, it seems like they're winning all these games like this. 1-0, 3-2, 2-0. But the key is they're winning. Their pitching staff is really good. The strange thing is, though, their offense has not been bad. It's been horrendously bad. 159 batting average coming in, worst in the league in slugging, tied for 26 in runs. I don't think that pace will continue, but are we a little worried? They lost some guys in the offseason now. They have enough on offense, EK?
They have enough. It's early, right? And it's cold and all those sort of things. Obviously, Santana and Jay Bruce, they're going to miss those guys. Santana, for me, lengthened that lineup, saw a lot of pitches. So then, you know, other guys, they benefit from that. But I think Zimmer is going to be, he's going to have a breakout year this year. I think he's going to separate himself. And Encarnacion, again, you know, Frank could tell you if he were here, he doesn't do anything in the cold, but when that weather gets warm, he's going to be.
He was right.
Again, you know, Lindor, I don't worry, especially in that division too. I think they're going to be fine.
I just wish they kind of would have stayed in the sweepstakes for Santana or Bruce, especially Bruce coming off one of his better years, and the number that he signed for wasn't really that high. So when you lose 2 guys like that, they might swing through some baseballs, but those guys are RBI getters year in and year out. And I agree with you, EK. They elongate that lineup and they take the pressure off it. You have one guy that switches and it's a left-handed bat that they need. So I think at the break and at the All-Star break, they need to go get somebody to really kind of solidify that lineup. They'll stay in the race.
And they did last year, obviously, with Bruce. They were a 500 team through May last year. They weren't a great starting team last year. And look at this historically bad offense through 10 games. EK, we talk about all these games being the cold. Oh, can you just put that into words? Like, oh, it's cold, it's cold. But it's hard to judge hitting in that. I'm talking 25, 30, right?
So think of it this way. When you go up to the plate, first of all, when you're facing big league pitching and you're facing guys like Dontrell or guys that are throwing 95, it's like, okay, I got to motivate to get into this box. Well, then now you add into the thing, if I don't square it up, my hands are going to be hurting like you would not believe, whether it's off the end of the bat or getting jammed or anything. If you don't hit it perfectly, your hands are, and they feel like they break. They, honest to goodness, feel like you can break your hands. There's nothing good about playing baseball in cold weather.
Yeah,
nothing.
I think that's why a lot of these teams, a lot of these numbers are a little skewed right now.
Oh.
Plus, it's early. It's 10 games, 12 games into the season. That's the bottom line. First time the Yankees and the Red Sox facing off. Sox on fire. They've won 8 in a row since the opening day loss. Yankees are 5-5, but D-Train, Severino Sale tomorrow night is as good as you could possibly get.
I'll buy a ticket to go see this ball game with my kids. So that's $500. So, I'll sit behind the dugout to see this type of ball game. These are two of the best arms. I know we talked about Kluber, but these are the two front runners for me, especially with their respective ball clubs, to have a chance to win the American League Cy Young. They both have great fastball velocity, 97 to 99, great sliders, great finishing pitches. This is going to be a fun game, especially for the rivalry. It's going to feel like a playoff-type game tomorrow. I'm excited for this matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Giancarlo Stanton. And I'm excited for him, too, because, you look at his career and the things that he's accomplished. This series is going to be the biggest series that he's ever played in.
I agree.
You think about it, has he, I don't want to take anything away from the Marlins there, but,
I know
but
where you're
during
going
this
with
time,
it.
has he ever played a meaningful baseball game? I don't know that he's ever played a this game, this rivalry is going to be second to none as far as any big league experience he's had. What's the big rivalry when they had
Marlins on Dontrell with his bobblehead night?
No, seriously, it's like the Marlins Rays,
All right, sorry,
right?
I'm sorry.
The Marlins Rays, that was the
All
big
right,
thing.
do us a little better. Do us a little better. The Philly
it's
Marlins.
just-
Stop, EK. I'm going to wear my ring if
But
you don't stop.
I'm talking about when Stan was there. But it's
He's
honest
talking
to
about
goodness,
the other, not the non-selling
No, I
years.
get
the
it.
selling
Yeah,
I
years.
it's
get it.
just
No, I
like
get it.
he
Absolutely.
so for Stan, this is, when you think about it, this is going to be his first taste of super intense baseball at the big league level.
And fans are going to judge him on this. This is the type of series where
He getting judged every time.
I
right?
get it. There's a lot of money, but if he plays well, they'll forget these 5 strikeout games. But this is big. He needs to step up and be a force because that's exactly why they picked him up to do that. So
I think
I'm
it's
excited.
such a great point. I think it's such a good point. And,
I agree.
and the one other thing I'll say, just to tie this up when we move on, Stanton, and you're listening, I was reading the New York papers today. I get it. He has struck out a lot. It's not like he has not been a streaky player before. He has been.
Right.
He is a streaky player. So he will have those weeks where he looks awful, and then he'll hit 7 home runs next week. So let's see what tomorrow brings. Could be fun, that's for sure. It's a doubleheader Saturday on FS1. First at 4 Eastern, the Rangers take on AL MVP Jose Altuve and the defending champion Astros. Then at 7, Mike Trout and the fighting Shohei Ohtani's battling the Royals. We like Ohtani, man. He's not pitching Saturday, he's pitching Sunday. It's on FS1. Stream it live on Fox Sports Go. It's time now for our final pitch. That's right, it's one final beautiful thought from these guys. D-Train, start us off. What do you got?
For me, Max Scherzer coming up big. That's why you have an ace, a frontline guy, an award winner. When your team's struggling, he goes out there and he's the best player on the field. He even stole a base tonight. He did everything he could for that ball club to win that ball club. Hats off to Max Scherzer. He did a great job.
He did. And I think, EK, we're getting ready for the Yankees Red Sox starting tomorrow. You brought up, I thought, a great point earlier in the show about the Yankees' new superstar.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Giancarlo Stanton. And just, you're talking about the MVP. You're talking about one of the most prolific home run hitters in the last few years. He's going to finally get to play a game where there's a ton of intensity. There's a lot going on. I don't think that he's played, like I said, not to take anything away, but he hadn't played a meaningful baseball game in his career, a meaningful Major League Baseball game, and now you're getting thrust right into Yankees, Red Sox. He's not sleeping tonight.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, he cannot. It is going to be awesome.
He's doing some dry hacks in the hotel room.
I'll tell you, I can't wait to watch. As a fan, I can't wait to watch.
Hey, my final pitch is this. Cubs in Chicago, snowed out. White Sox in Chicago, played. What the heck is that? You're in the same city. One team snowed out, the other team's playing?
I don't know.
I give up. That'll do it for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to catch MLB Whiparound weeknights at 11 Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, only on FS1. Thanks for listening.